Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics, and a quick update this morning. As we did have some data out, the PCE deflator index has been released this morning for October, and especially since this is the one that the Federal Reserve traditionally looks at more closely, did want to pass this along because came in slightly lower than expected on a month-over-month basis. The core personal consumption expenditures index rose 0.2% in October and 5% from a year ago. The 0.2% month over month reading was slightly below the 0.3% estimate, while the 5% year on year was in line with what Wall Street was expecting. Although compared to September's data, which came in at 0.5% and an annual gain of 5.2%, slightly lower than that. When you add back in food and energy, this was 0.3% month on month versus 6% on an annual basis. Monthly increase the same as September, although the year over year came down a bit from 6.3% to 6%. Chris Zaccarelli of Independence Advisor Alliance describing it as a Goldilocks report, showing core inflation continued to drop because basically if inflation is coming down, that is less that theoretically the Federal Reserve will be expected to hike. And if we take a look over at the probabilities of the Fed's December meeting coming up in 2 weeks, see it's back up to 77% for a 50 basis point hike as opposed to 23% for 75 basis points. Of course, yesterday, Jerome Powell suggested that they're getting closer to reducing the size of the interest rate hikes, and that could begin as soon as December. So this morning's data following on top of that has our probabilities of the 50 basis point hike a little bit higher, and you can see the gold and silver prices responding quite well. Here is the gold futures chart, up $53 from yesterday, and silver up 91 cents, well over $22 at this point. And certainly interesting to see gold and silver up again today. While the stock markets are down, NASDAQ up slightly, but seeing a little divergence there as opposed to some of the other times when we see just everything rallying in response to that. So fortunately, call coming up with Dave Kranzler at the regular time, 1 p.m. Eastern, where we talk a bit more about this, as well as some of the other things going on in the gold and silver markets. So going to wrap up for now, but we'll look forward to seeing you in a little bit.